Hi, my name is Father Demetri, and today I'm going to talk about the idols of our lives. Of course, we have one of the commandments that he commands us not to bow down in any graven images or idols. But really, the idols that we have in our lives are sometimes a lot more than just some graven image, something that represents some sort of god or goddess that the Greeks or the Egyptians or whoever was worshiping those things at one time had. They represented something like Zeus or whatever else. But today and even throughout all of history, the idols that are represented in our lives are a lot more seductive and a lot more insidious, really. The idols of our lives consist of many things. And really, anything that takes the place of God in our lives is an idol. I know all of us have struggled with things. We've always put things in front of God. And sometimes it's food, sometimes it's alcohol, whatever it is that takes the place in our heart of God, that becomes an idol. And it's said that behind every idol is some sort of demon, some sort of demonic entity that dwells behind the idols. Today, it's very easy for us to battle, and it's very easy for us to fall into some sort of idolatry. I know at one time I played lots and lots of, entertainment systems, and I watched a lot of movies and things like that, and I really didn't think anything wrong at the time. But as time wears on, as I get closer and closer to the Lord, I begin to understand what it means to have God fully in my heart. And it's a struggle. It's sometimes a very big challenge to keep God first and foremost in our lives. In the morning, I want to get up. I want to look at my phone. I want to do something else, and sometimes I say a quick prayer and then I move on to whatever it is that I want to do. And at one time it was a challenge for me to even get up and pray. I would always pray. I'd always say a little 5-minute prayer, but in order for me to pray and really devote myself, I'm slowly removing the things that just don't belong in my life. I'm slowly removing the things that just block me from achieving what I really want in God. Christ, first and foremost, comes in my heart, and I'm trying very hard to make him the master of my life, the Lord and master of my life, to be able to fill me completely, to be able to fill my heart and soul, that I'm able to dwell with him and think about him and just learn to love him with all my heart. And sometimes it's a challenge. It's I want to do the things that I want to do. I want to live the way that I want to live. A lot of times we look at people that are athletes, and we look at people that are rock stars, and we look at all these people and we idolize them, and we even use that word idolization. And they even have shows that are called American Idol and different things like that. And it's amazing that we use that word so nonchalantly. But anything that represents the form and an object that replaces God is an idol. It's something that takes his place in our hearts. And the Lord our God, he wants our full attention. He desires to have us fully unto himself. And as I get closer and closer to God, I want him to be fully for myself as well. I often understand why St. Paul said that, marriage is something that he wishes he could have, but being celibate is what he needed to do in order to serve God fully and to be able to do all the things that God wanted him to do. Because sometimes, even our families, sometimes our church, they sometimes take the place of God. And I think God understands that we need time to work towards our salvation. We need time to understand who he is. And if we desire to be and to understand and to live a life that is glorifying God, that glorifies Christ, we will slowly begin to push out those things that just don't belong. And as we push out those things that don't belong, more and more does Christ fill our hearts and Christ fill our souls. And God begins to become something bigger than life in our hearts and our souls. So we can glorify God in everything that we do. We can worship Him in all that we do. We can begin to live our lives in a truly Christ-centered way. And we need to destroy the idols. We need to destroy the things that takes our minds and our affections away. And if we have a family, if we have, our churches and everything, we need to be able to put Christ in the center of all those things. We need to be able to have the Lord be the King of our life in our marriages, in our churches. It's not our ethnicity, it's not our churches, it's not our families that make us who we are, it's God. And as Christians, as a Christian, as myself, I can only talk about myself, I begin to want to dwell with God. I begin to want to share my life with Him, and I want to be able to do all the things that He wants me to do. And I start to remove all the things that just don't belong. So I pray that I can glorify Him with all my life. I pray that I can keep on tearing down the idols of my life, and I pray that I'm strengthened. And I pray that whoever is listening, whoever wants to hear these words, can do the same, especially if you truly desire to have a relationship with God. So may the Lord bless you and protect you. Trust in the Lord always with all of your heart, and lean not on your understanding. May the Lord bless you and protect you always. Bye-bye.